Well, welcome everyone to the February 16th live chat. A couple of things we want to talk about today, pretty short list. We'll start with a follow-up from last week. I think it was last week, someone asked about the payment for the work that's going on in the tunnel, who's paying for it, and I did not know. So I have found out that it is warranty work. So Shockey will be billed for the work that's happening there. So that's on Shockey's dime through warranty work. So you are not paying for it. Also wanted to spread some good news on David Stewart's behalf. And soon you'll be getting a notification from him telling you that the salad bar is going to open. And yeah, so that's going to be good. I think a lot of people miss the salad bar. My understanding it's been 2 years since it's been open. So there'll be some safety protocol associated with it. One is that when you approach the salad bar, you will be required to sanitize your hands as you approach the salad bar. There'll be a station there for you to do that. You must wear a well-fitting mask, not a chin strap, but a well-fitting mask as you're dealing with the salad bar. So those would be the two main, and we'll need to space ourselves a little bit. Those would be the main things. But the salad bar will be open, and so that's a big step forward for us. I believe that it's Tuesday, next Tuesday, a week from yesterday, that the salad bar is going to open. And part of I think the benefit of that, other than allowing people to enjoy something that they haven't enjoyed in some time, is that that's a feature that you'll be able to take advantage of when you eat in, as opposed to take out. And so one of the things that we know we need to do is work on getting the take-out numbers down to a more manageable level so that we can then begin to get our staffing in a place where we can set our sights on Prima. And so the salad bar is just one step in that. There are some other little steps too. We were saying the other day, the analogy that I came up with, which is probably not very good, was Prima is like in World War II, we want to take Japan, but we have to take a few islands on the way. And so the salad bar is one of the islands, and there are a few other little islands, but eventually we want to get to Japan, which will be opening Prima, and really at that point be open pretty full service and dining. So that's good news. I also wanted to let you know that there's going to be a crane on site, and that's going to be happening, we think, on March the 1st. That's the target date, although it may slip. It could be late April or earlier part of March. Late February, early part of March. But around the 1st, there'll be a crane on site. And what it's going to be doing is setting a piece of HVAC equipment on top of a roof over on the health side as part of the construction process. It's apparently going to be a really big crane, even though the piece of equipment they're hoisting is only, I think, 350 pounds. But it has to have such a long reach that they need a big crane. So they're going to bring it on site. They'll need to assemble it on site. They'll need to then pick up the piece of equipment up and move it and set it. And then they'll deassemble the crane or disassemble the crane. And then they'll take it away. I think the hours are going to be from 8 a.m. roughly to 2 p.m. in the afternoon on March the 1st. So if you see a big crane, that's what that's all about. It'll be pretty short. I think I was going to talk about the Atrium Cafe hours, but I believe all that's now being advertised. Breakfast, the dinner hours, all those things I think are being advertised currently. So that's taken care of. Ann Hopper is here, and she wanted to talk with you very briefly about the clinic. There's been a personnel change there that she wants to tell you about. She loves to speak in public, by the way. This is her favorite thing. So if she goes on too long, I'm going to have to give her the hook.
Thanks. Not this one, right?
No.
This one? This one?
Either one.
Oh, all right. Hi, I'm Ann, and it's good to see everyone. I just wanted to let you know that we have a new addition to the clinic, which I'm very excited to say is a nurse, Adeline Witcher, and I don't know if you know her name, but you would recognize her because she was in healthcare she's in health services as the 3 to 11 supervisor. And she's been here for the last 5 years. She's been 3 to 11 shift for the last 26 years. So getting used to the morning routine of the 8 to 4:30. But the nice thing is she knows a lot of residents because she has responded to emergencies. She knows Cedarfield because she basically runs all over this building, and I think she can run circles around me because 3 to 11, there aren't a lot of people, so she's definitely on her own. And then she knows our doctors, so her learning curve is not much of one, but she's already in the clinic. So come by and introduce yourself, or you'll say, oh, that's Adeline. So she's really good, and we're very, 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 very excited. Thanks.
That wasn't too bad. Thanks, Ann. I didn't have to give you the hook. All right, no one's going to have to give me the hook either, because I have one more topic and that'll be it, other than questions that you might have. So I said last week that I was thinking about moving towards a more monthly format, and so today will probably be the last time we'll do this format, the weekly live chat. I think what we'll move to is more of a monthly format. I'm thinking that I might, it's all, what's in the name, but I think we might call it the Executive Director's Dialogue. And so it'll be only me. You'll be disappointed that it's just me. And I'll just have an agenda. Hopefully we'll be able to get the PowerPoint to work, and we'll be able to stream that as well. We'll go ahead and stream it for people who are incapacitated or can't make it. But we'd love to see you down here in this room as well. Part of the process that I had to work through was setting a date that seemed to work. And so we're thinking that the first Wednesday of each month will be the date. We'd like to go ahead and keep this hour, the 3 o'clock hour, but as luck would have it, the very first one we want to do on March 2nd, there's an Ash Wednesday service here. And so we're probably going to try to shift it to an earlier time on that day at 1 o'clock. We're going to try to get 1 o'clock that day, but then after that, we should flip it back to 3 p.m. on the first Wednesday of the month. And the reason that I chose the first month is because typically the resident council meeting will be on the fourth Wednesday. Now there'll be a fifth Wednesday every now and then, but generally I think that would allow that meeting to occur, and any follow-up that we need to do from that, it can happen somewhat quickly. So hopefully that strategy will be effective as far as enhancing communication to you about things. So we'll go back to the way it used to be. The only difference would be a name change. When I went to Westminster, they had something and they called it a certain thing, and there was one resident who kept saying, "We've always called it this." It's like, well, it doesn't really matter what we call it that much, but anyway, so we got past that. And that is it for me. I would like to try my very best to answer any questions that you might have on any topic, except one, which we talked about last week. Yes, ma'am. If you wouldn't mind using the microphone, and I'm going to repeat the question because I was given some feedback that people at home can't hear because they're not talking into this, so I'll try my best. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to know the status of the COVID cases in our community.
Thank you. Every week I forget to mention that. And I have a certain person that emails me, and I think they're going to start their email, "Are you an idiot?" This is the third time I've asked you. The number is 0. Today there are 0 cases. There are no staff cases. There are no resident cases, and then there are no resident anyway. So yeah, we're very... So I think, and now I'm prognosticating, and I'm not a public health official, obviously, but I believe that our future is going to include some active cases of COVID from time to time. The idea that we can build a shield and a bubble around, which was really our intention when COVID first came, is a fantasy. It's just not going to happen. You're going to bring it in, staff's going to bring it in, we're all going to so I think going forward what we need to be focused on is mitigation, particularly based on our own health and how we feel about our ability to fare should I get infected. Do my health risk tell me that I may not fare well should I get infected, then I think that you have to take extra care. If you feel like, hey, I'm pretty hale and hearty and I can fare, but that's a risk that we'll all assume. We'll continue to be cautious. We'll continue to be cautious. We'll continue to be balancing safety and having a life that's worth living. Living in your apartment scared to death all the time is not really a life worth living. But for some people, that's the way it may need to be because of respiratory problems, health conditions, etc. Thank you very much for your question. You've done me a great favor because that person would not believe that I forgot 3 weeks in a row. 0 is the number. Yes, ma'am.
I want to take a little bit of a different approach. I really appreciated you posting the numbers on a slide on Touchdown.
Yes.
And if we can continue that approach,
Okay.
we get the information we need, and
Yes.
we don't have to listen to it for 5 or 10 minutes for those people who can see it on a slide. and
Understand.
Assimilate fast.
Very good. Thank you for the suggestion. And I believe we can thank Eleanor and the folks in Lifestyles for helping get the information out on the slides, and I really appreciate that.
Well, we have.
Eleanor's asking me a question.
No,
Eleanor,
I'm asking.
I thought we were a team.
On behalf of Sharon Couple.
Okay.
What is the plan for improving parking out front of the town center? Team members in private duty CNAs, et cetera, are parking there on their shifts when they should be parking out back by the D wing, preventing handicapped residents parking.
Yes, so her question, if you were at home and did not hear, is what about the parking in front of the town hall, town center? There seems to be staff, team members, and private duty aides that are parking there. And so we just talked about this this week in our senior team leaders meeting. And so what we know we need to do is step up our surveillance of that area to be sure that people who are supposed to be parking there are parked there. And we're going to move towards a system of ticketing people who are not parking where they're supposed to park. And if they're team members, then we can move towards a system of, really it's a policy, it's a failure to follow policy. So it begins to get into a disciplinary process for people who just fail to follow a policy and park in the correct place. But our security team has to take on some ownership of that. Yeah, so it's a good question. Thank you, Eleanor, for your good question.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've gotten so far? Okay. Did I promise anyone, we know about the pricing. I don't think I made a promise that I would tell anybody anything additionally in this meeting. I'll try to keep notes so that if you ask me a question I don't know, I'll try to respond with an answer. Any topic? All right.
Generator update?
Oh, so the question was about generator update. No generator update. And that's part of the reason why I really like to move away from the weekly, because every week it seems like there's, in the world of construction, things take a little longer, and it's like picking a wound. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you on March the 1st, and then monthly thereafter.